Hello everyone. Today in this video we are going to discuss air conditioning or psychrometry. So this is the first lecture for this chapter. So if you have not subscribed our channel, then do subscribe it and press on the bell icon so that you will be getting notifications from our channel whenever we'll be uploading any video on this. So this video will be helpful for all the mechanical engineering students who are preparing for any government jobs or any competitive exams. So here we'll be discussing all the concepts, all the theories related to air conditioning. So maximum theories we'll be trying to cover over here. And after discussion of theories, we'll be switching to question answer section. So here we have taken some of the questions from GATE which are asked previously. So in previous year already it has been asked. So we'll be trying to find out their answers here. Okay. So without wasting time, let us move forward and start our discussion on it. I request you to be till last so that you can take maximum benefit from this lecture. So let us start it. So here we'll be discussing air conditioning or psychrometry. So whenever we heard that air conditioning, so first of all we should know what is the working medium inside any air conditioning system or air conditioning plant. So working system is here, that is moist air. So moist air is consisting of dry air as well as water vapor, we can say. So we can say your moist air is a two component system. So one is dry air, another one is water vapor. So from this two component system we can find the degree of freedom of the moist air is 3. Okay, so let us try to find your degree of freedom over here. So degree of freedom can be calculated by using the Gibbs phase rule. Okay, so according to Gibbs phase rule we have known that F, so let me use that pen. Okay, so F is equal to C minus P plus 2, where C is the number of component and P is the number of phases, and F is the degree of freedom. So as already I have told you, two number of components here present, so I can put the value 2 here, and phase, if I will see, all the dry air and as well as water vapor, both of them are in single phase, so I can put to here 1, and if I'll be adding this 2, so I'll be getting as our answer 3. So from here we can get to know that our degree of freedom of moist air is 3. So and both the components, so let us move. So both the components, that is dry air and our water vapor, are assumed to be ideal gas or perfect gas. So why we can assume that our water vapor and that is dry air as ideal gas? So let us discuss about that. So in case of your dry air, your temperature is high relative to its saturation temperature, so that we can say dry air is a perfect gas. And in case of your water vapor, so it is being repeated here, sorry for this. So water vapor can be also assumed as a perfect gas because its pressure is low relative to saturation pressure. So here we can discuss something about the saturated your dry air. Okay, so saturated dry air, we can say the that is moist air with maximum amount of water vapor. Okay, so when your air contains maximum amount of maximum amount of water vapor, then that condition is known as your that is saturated air. So in case of that the temperature is that is very less in case of your dry air, and pressure is very high, so we can say that's why basically your dry air and water vapor are assumed as a perfect gas. So let us move forward, and if we'll be calculating the total pressure over here, then the total pressure will be equal to vapor pressure and your that is pressure of air. So this relation you have to remember. So where PT is the total pressure or atmospheric pressure we can say, and PA is the partial pressure of air. Keep remember these values. So these terms actually, so we'll be using these terms. So PV is the partial pressure of vapor, and wherever I will be using MA, so that will represent the mass of dry air. Okay, so MA represents the mass of dry air, and PB represents the partial pressure of vapor, and PA represents the partial pressure of air. Okay, so we'll discuss next different important psychrometric properties. So first is your dry bulb temperature. So dry bulb temperature is the normal temperature which we are measuring by using different measuring instruments. So it is the temperature of moist air. Okay, measured by standard thermometer or other that is temperature measuring instrument. So it is basically the temperature which we are measuring by using different temperature measuring instruments. So that temperature only we called as what, dry bulb temperature. Then next property, that is saturated vapor pressure. So vapor pressure, okay, so pressure related to your dry bulb temperature, okay, corresponding to that dry bulb temperature and saturated partial pressure, okay, that is known as your saturated vapor pressure. So it is the saturated partial pressure of water vapor at the dry bulb temperature. So this value of partial pressure can be found out from the psychrometric chart. So we'll discuss, we'll be trying to find out that also. So the saturated vapor pressure, we know that it is the saturated pressure corresponding to your dry bulb temperature. Next term, that is relative humidity. So it is the ratio of mole fraction of the water vapor in moist air to the mole fraction of water vapor in saturated air. So that will be represented by MB by MBS. Okay, so as already I have discussed with you that here we have assumed that the dry air and water vapor are assumed to be the ideal gases. So we can put the ideal gas equations over here. So if we'll be putting ideal gas equation here, then your PV, okay, so PV into B divided by R into T will be there, and again here PB into B into that is divided by RT. So another assume will be taking here, that is volume and the temperature will be remain constant. So the upper part, in the upper part volume and temperature, it will be cancelled with the volume temperature which will be in the lower part. So we'll be getting this relation over here, that will be equal to PV divided by PVS. Okay, so relative humidity can be represented in terms of vapor pressure. Okay, that is vapor pressure of the moist air, that is divided by vapor pressure of the dry saturated air. Okay, that is a saturated air, you can say. So moving towards next property, that is fourth property, that is your humidity ratio. So humidity ratio is the ratio of, sorry, that is your mass of water associated with kg of dry air. So it is equal to what, mass of vapor to the what, that is mass of air. So ratio of mass of vapor and mass of air, so that will be equal to mv by ma. So again, if we'll be putting the ideal gas equation over here, then I can write PVB divided by again RV, okay, RV into T, and it will be divided by what, that will be equal to PA, okay, then V divided by RA into T. Already I have told you this volume will be constant and temperature will be constant, so this will be cancelled with each other. Then if we'll be calculating, then this R I can take to the numerator, and this PA will be at the numerator as a denominator. So I can write PB into RA divided by RB into, that is PA. Okay, so next thing I can do, I can replace this PA in terms of this total pressure and vapor pressure. So PA can be replaced by this PT and PB. And another thing, the value of RA and RB are the constant that is known to us. Okay, so let us remember and let us write down those values over here. Okay, so that is real gas constant over Ra, so air. Okay, so that we know that is equal to 287 joule per kg Kelvin. Another R, that is B, so water vapor, that is real gas constant for water vapor, that is equal to 461.52 joule per kg Kelvin. So do remember these values. Ra is equal to 287. So maximum we have used this value in thermodynamics and all those problems. Okay, and another value you need to remember over here, that is Rb. So that will be equal to 461.52 joule per kg Kelvin. Okay, so if we'll be putting all these values over there, then we'll be getting what, that will be equal to, so on the upper part there was Ra, and that will be equal, that is 287 divided by that is 461, so we'll be getting that is 0.622. so then we'll be getting that your humidity ratio. So humidity ratio is represented by small w, so that will be equal to 0.622 into Pv divided by Pt minus Pv. So let us move forward towards our fifth number property. Sorry. So that is the degree of saturation. So it is the ratio of actual specific humidity, that is W, divided by specific humidity at a saturated region. So that is Ws. So that is equal to W by Ws. Then if we'll be putting the value of W over here, then I can write, suppose I am putting that is 0.622 into Pv by Pt, that is Pt minus Pv, okay, and divided by 0.622. okay, so it is at the saturated region. So again I can write Pvs, I can write, okay, divided by Pt minus Pvs. so 0.622, this will be cancelled, then this part will be taken into the numerator, and this part will be at the denominator. So I can write Pv by Ps, okay, that is the Pvs, into what, Pt minus Pvs, okay, so Pvs divided by Pt minus Pv, okay, so we'll be getting this relation at the final result. Okay, so that will be equal to mu. Okay, so that will be equal to mu, so let me use the pen. Okay, so that is equal to mu, so mu equal to what, Pv by Ps whole into Pt minus Pvs divided by Pt minus Pv. So write down all this formula over here. So we can find out mu, that is the degree of saturation, by using this formula. Another thing, if we see, so Pv by Ps, so it is nothing but it's the relative humidity. So if we'll be moving back, so this is the relative humidity, we know that is Pv by Pvs. So we can put there, that is mu will be equal to what, relative humidity, so that is denoted by phi, and that will be equal to that is degree of saturation, that will be equal to phi into Pt minus Pvs divided by Pt minus Pv. So let me erase all those things so that it will be clearly visible to you. Okay, so let me erase, where did it go? Okay, so okay, so finally we got that result, degree of saturation is equal to what, phi, that is the relative humidity. Okay, so relative, okay, so this is the what, relative humidity into that part, that is Pt minus Pvs divided by Pt minus Pv. Okay, so if we'll see here, so it will be somewhat equal to, nearly equal to 1. Okay, so sometimes it will be represented as phi also, that is relative humidity. Okay, so let us move towards the next property. So that is the dew point temperature. So it is the if, okay, so what it is saying, it is saying. So if unsaturated moist air is cooled at constant pressure, okay, then the temperature at which the moist air begins to condense is known as the dew point temperature. Okay, so let us see the graph so that you can understand it better. So what is saying, what it is trying to saying, though, that it is the unsaturated moist air, okay, and when it is trying to cool, okay, so at a constant pressure, okay, that point at which it is trying to condense, okay, it start condensing, that point, okay, corresponding temperature is known as our what dew point temperature. So let us see that temperature versus entropy diagram over here. So it will be seeing the temperature versus entropy diagram. So this line is showing the saturated air line, okay, so it is for saturated region. So and this is correspond to unsaturated vapor pressure, okay. So we have assumed that if unsaturated moist air, so let us find catch the point, okay, let me use the pointer over here. Okay, so it will be seeing this point, this is the unsaturated region, okay. So if suppose our moist air present it at this region, then corresponding temperature we can say, okay, so this corresponding temperature, that is a dry bulb temperature, okay, so this line is the dry bulb temperature line, okay. Then what we are doing, will be cooling at a constant pressure. So with this pressure only, if we will be trying to cool, okay, so at this point it start condensing, means that unsaturated, okay, the saturated superheated vapor, okay. So at this point what we can say, the conditions of vapor is at the superheated region. Then when it will at this point, okay, at this point we can say it is trying to condense, means some droplets of water trying to form here. So at this point your condensing is starting, so corresponding temperature your where your condensation starts, so that point is known as your dew point temperature. Okay, so I think you have understood it better. Okay, so again I am trying to say that the what that is the point at which the condensation is starting, corresponding temperature is known as your dew point temperature of the what unsaturated moist air. Okay, so let us move forward towards okay, so this is the equation from which we can find out the dew point temperature. So if dBT is known, that is the dry bulb temperature is known to us, and phi, that is the relative humidity is known to us, then we can find out the dew point temperature. So that is the relation, you can note it down. So that is 4030 into dBT plus 235 divided by 4030 minus dBT, that is plus 235 whole into that is log natural logarithm of relative density, sorry, relative humidity minus 235. Okay, so let us move towards 7 property, that is the specific volume. So I think you have idea about this. So specific volume means it is defined as the number of cubic centimeters, okay, so cubic meters we can say. So we are taking meter as our unit here. So cubic meters of sorry, that is moist air per kg of dry air. So that can be find out by using normal gas equation. Okay, so that will be equal to RA, so that is the gas constant for air, and T, okay, divided by PA. Okay, so PA can be replaced by PT minus PV, so that will be meter cube per kg of dry air. Okay, so let us move forward. Next one is your enthalpy. Again you must have idea about this. So here enthalpy is okay, enthalpy of moist air, okay, so it is the summation of enthalpy of dry air and enthalpy of water vapor. So if we can calculate the enthalpy of dry air, and if we can calculate the enthalpy of water vapor, then we can calculate the enthalpy of moist air. So enthalpy of moist air will be equal to what, enthalpy of dry air and enthalpy of our water vapor. So water vapor will be equal to what, gas, sorry, we have denoted by Hg. Okay, so Ha is the enthalpy of air, and W is the humidity ratio, and that will be multiplied with your Hg, and from this we can calculate the enthalpy of the water vapor. Those, if will be calculating the air enthalpy, okay, so that will be equal to CPA, so specific heat of air at a constant pressure, so that will be multiplied with temperature. So we can take the dry bulb temperature over here, okay, plus again that is the specific, that is what ratio, okay, humidity ratio into your latent heat plus again sensible heat. So that is equal to CPW, specific heat of water at constant pressure, and it will be multiplied with T, that is the temperature, okay, then temperature, that is dBT, okay. So again, if we will be putting, we know the value of specific heat of air and specific heat of water, so that is nearly equal to 1.005 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and here it is 1.88, that will be equal to kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and latent heat of water, that we know 2500, okay. So by putting all these values over here, and we can calculate, if temperature is given, then we can calculate the enthalpy. Then moving towards next 8 number property, okay, so okay, so it is 9, okay, so this 9th property. So humid specific heat or specific heat of moisture, okay, so that is equal to what, Cp plus this one, that is humidity ratio into your CPW, so that can be calculated by using this Cp and this one, okay. So if we know the values of this Cp and this CPW, then we can calculate the value of CPM, that is humid specific heat, and this is equal for all the practical purposes. So basically this value is used for all practical purposes, so you can remember this value, that is 1.0216 kilojoule per kg of dry air. Next, that is wet bulb temperature, okay. So wet bulb temperature, actually it's not a property. So why it's not a property, so let us discuss about that. So before that, let us discuss what is that is wet bulb temperature actually. So wet bulb temperature is the temperature which is measured by using any thermometer when it is being wrapped with a wet cloth over the bulb, okay. So for measuring wet bulb temperature, what we'll be doing that, we'll be wrapping our wet cloth over the thermometer, okay. So that's how we are measuring the wet bulb temperature, and it's not a thermodynamic property as its temperature measurement involves heat and mass transfer. So what we are doing, suppose this is the thermometer and your cloth is being wrapped like this. So again, if your air, okay, so dry air is being moved like this, then what may happen here, so heat from the your dry air will go to the what, that cloth, okay. So heat transfer is occurring here, as well as mass transfer will, may also occur, because if air is moving, then some particles from, that is water particles, which is being present in the cloth, that may evaporate when it will come in contact with the dry air. So that evaporation of water particle will may mix with the dry air, okay. So mass transfer as well as heat transfer is occurring, so that we can say it's not a thermodynamic property. So why it is necessary to calculate WBT, so let us try to discuss about that. So already I have told you that the degree of freedom of moist air, that is equal to 3. So let me use the black ink over here, okay. So degree of freedom of moist air, that we know, that is equal to 3. So degree of freedom is 3, means we can say the independent, that is minimum independent variable which is required to define a state, that is 3. So to define any state, we can say we require minimum 3 independent variables. So temperature measurement is easy, that we know. So we can measure dBT of any moist air, so dry bulb temperature. Simply we need to use the any what temperature measuring instrument. So that's how we can measure the dBT of any moist air. Then corresponding pressure can be also measured, that is PV we can measure. Okay, so PV can be measured, that is the vapor pressure correspond to your moist air. Okay, so by if we'll be knowing the dBT, then we can measure the PV. Okay, so how we'll be measuring that we'll discuss later. Okay, so that can be measured. So next another properties that we have discussed, that is phi, relative humidity, then omega. Okay, so omega 9, that is W. Okay, and all these property we require again saturation pressure, all these things we require. So it's very difficult to again calculation for to calculate all these properties. So what we can do, it will be finding out another temperature over here. So as we know the temperature measurement is easy, so that it will be what it will be eliminating our problem. So that we have taken, that is WBT over here. So simply we can measure WBT by using our thermometer, but what we'll do, we'll wrap our wet cloth over the bulb of the thermometer. Now let us discuss psychrometric chart. So see very carefully here. So let us see which properties are shown in which direction. Okay, so here dry bulb temperature is shown in x direction, so it is being shown like this, and in your y axis your specific humidity W is being shown, and your vapor pressure PV is also shown. Okay, so PV already we know that W equal to what, 0.622 into PV by PT minus PV. So basically we can say that the PV is your function of your W, so PT is your constant. Okay, and this is your constant, so we can say PV is only the function of your W. Okay, specific humidity. So specific humidity is shown in this side, and your vapor pressure basically is shown in this side. So let us first see where it is shown. Okay, so next dew, that is already we have discussed dry bulb temperatures lines are like this. Okay, and your specific humidity lines are the horizontal lines. Okay, like this. Next constant volume line, so these are the constant volume lines, so these are somewhat like this. So there will be lines will be like this, so these lines will be the constant volume line. Another thing, that is relative humidity, so this is the saturation line over here. So this line showing the saturation line. So from here so relative humidity here it will be 100%. Okay, so it will be 100% over here, and from here there will be number of lines like this. Okay, so these lines are showing the relative humidity. Okay, then what, dew point. Okay, so if we'll be fixing this point correspond to this horizontal line, wherever will be it will be meeting the saturation line. Okay, so this is the saturation line, so the horizontal line where it will meet the saturation line, so that point will be correspond to dew point temperature. So this point will be the dew point temperature. Likewise wet bulb temperature. Okay, so these lines are showing the wet bulb temperature. Okay, so wherever it will be touching the your saturation line correspond to that vertical line, it is known as your what, dew. So that is wet bulb temperature. Okay, and the wet bulb temperature lines are also constant enthalpy line. Okay, so these lines are also showing the constant, that is enthalpy. Okay, so here it is also written constant enthalpy lines are along the constant wet bulb temperature. Okay, so I think all these things are clear over here, and here it is showing the moisture content. Okay, that is the relative humidity. Okay, so let us see the actual psychrometric chart, so that it will be clear to you. Okay, so if we'll be seeing dry bulb temperature is written here. Okay, so temperature like -5, so let me use pointer over here. Okay, so that is here -5, 0, then 5, plus 10, 15, 20, 25. So all these are the dry bulb temperature, and all these things are in degree centigrade. Okay, So next in this side, that is specific humidity, that is kg for kg of dry air. So here it is written 0.002, 004, 006 like this. So this horizontal lines are showing the specific humidity. Next, wet bulb temperature and dew point temperature. Okay, so let us already we have discussed that dew point temperature. The suppose I am considering any point over here, then the horizontal line where it will meet the saturation line. So this is the saturation line. So correspond to that line, that is intersection of saturation line and this horizontal line, that will show the what dew point temperature. Okay, then wet bulb temperature. So this is the what that is your okay, so these are the dew point temperature. Okay, so let us see. Okay, suppose I am fixing this point. Okay, so correspond to this point, so these lines, okay, these inclined lines, okay, these are showing the what wet bulb temperature. Okay, so wherever it will meet, okay, suppose I am considering this point and is meeting at somewhere, then this temperature correspond to your wet bulb temperature. And again, wet bulb temperature line and your constant enthalpy line. Okay, so constant enthalpy line is also this line. So constant enthalpy line, so enthalpy can be calculated from here. Okay, so enthalpy values are given here. Okay, so next thing, okay, I think another thing is vapor pressure. Okay, so suppose I am giving considering this point, so if I am going in this direction, then I am getting the specific humidity. But if I am going in this direction, then I am getting that vapor pressure in terms of of Hg it is given. Okay, so it is the standard atmospheric pressure for one atmosphere pressure. Okay, 1.013 bar. Okay, so already I have told you we require what minimum three independent variables, but we can't show the three properties, that three-dimensional view in a 2D figure. So for a particular pressure, basically your psychrometric chart is of 10. Okay, so I think it's clear to everybody. Then let us move forward and try to discuss something more important. Okay, so if we'll be discussing here the basic air conditioning process, then suppose I'm considering this point over here. Let me use another ink. Okay, so if I am considering over here and our moist air is at this point, then if I am moving straight forward, then what I am doing, I am simply heating, and that we can say we are sensible heating. Okay, so this is the process, that is OA process, we can say that is the sensible heating process. Likewise, if I am going down, okay, I'm going back, means I can say this temperature is being decreased. Okay, so that we can say OB process is your sensible cooling process. Okay, then if we'll be going off, that is OC process, so there is the humidification process, and D process we can say that is dehumidification process. So remember all these things over here. So OA is the sensible heating, OB is the sensible cooling, OC is the humidification, OD is the dehumidification. Then if we will be seeing that OE line, so OE line I can say it is your sensible heating and your humidification. Okay, again if we will see this OG, okay, so we can say this is humidification and cooling, so sensible cooling and humidification. Okay, likewise for these two lines also we can say, so this is heating. Okay, so this is sensible heating and dehumidification. Okay, so sensible heating and dehumidification. Likewise I can say for OF, so this will be your dehumidification and cooling, so sensible cooling and dehumidification. So let us check it. Sensible heating, OA. Okay, so this is sensible heating, so you can see over here also. Okay, so OE, okay, OE we have said that is your heating and your, that is heating and humidification. So heating and humidification. So you can check all these things over here, and you can do your concepts better. Okay, so now we'll try to discuss some previous year GATE questions over here. So first question is that wet bulb depression under saturated ambient condition is what? So we have not discussed about wet bulb depression is what, so leave this question for now, so we'll discuss later. Okay, then moving towards question number 2, atmospheric air from 40 degrees centigrade and 60% relative humidity. Okay, so 40 degrees centigrade and 60% relative humidity, and can be brought into 20 degrees centigrade, and again it is 60% relative humidity. So it can be achieved by which process, we can say. So first it will be seeing relative humidity is remaining same. Okay, so it is same, that is 60%, but what we are doing that 60%, that is your temperature is being decreased. Okay, so temperature is being decreased, that is 40 degree to 20 degree centigrade. So it will be seeing then at a same line, we can say at 60% your humid, that is your relative humidity line, it will come down. Okay, so suppose here it was 40 and will be going to 20, then what we need to do? So we need to what, dehumidify and sensible cooling. Okay, so we need to cool. Okay, we need to cool and dehumidification. So A option will be the correct answer over here. Okay, so you can check it and you can get your answer as option number A. So it was asked in GATE 1990 for 2 marks. Okay, so very simple. So if we'll be remembering all those things over here, so if you can remember this, then you can get plus 2 marks. Okay, so let us move towards next question. So if the moist air is cooled by sensible heat removal, okay, sensible heat removal, which of the following is true? So again if we're trying to see, okay, sensible heat removal, nothing is happening, only your sensible heat removal. Suppose this is the point. Okay, and what we are doing, so if this is the psychometric chart and this is the point, it is telling that sensible heat is being removed. So the your line will be getting like this. So let us check, neither the relative humidity or nor your specific humidity. Okay, specific humidity changes but not relative humidity change. Okay, so here we can say what will change, relative humidity will change. Okay, relative humidity change and your temperature will also change. So let us check that specific humidity. Okay, specific humidity lies somewhat here, so that will not change. So let us check it, specific humidity doesn't change but not relative, sorry, it is telling that the specific humidity changes. So this option will be the correct wrong answer. Next, in case of both relative humidity and specific humidity changes. Okay, so relative humidity changes but we can't say specific humidity change, so this option is also wrong, and none of these. Okay, so let us check the first option here, neither relative humidity or nor specific humidity so changes. Okay, so it is telling that neither relative humidity changes or specific humidity changes. No, we can say, but your relative humidity is changing, so here we can say D option will be the correct one. So from here we can get relative humidity is changing. Okay, so that is phi is changing, but that is W will not change. Okay, moving towards next question. For air at a given temperature, as relative humidity in increased isothermally. Okay, so let us check for air at a given temperature. So at constant temperature we can say the relative humidity in is increased. So this is increased isothermally. So again if I'll be drawing that diagram over here, then I can draw like this. So let us this is the point, and we can say the relative humidity is increasing isothermally, so it is going up like this. So here it is telling that wet bulb temperature and specific enthalpy increases. Okay, so wet bulb temperature will be somewhat here, and now what is happening, wet bulb temperature is somewhat here. Okay, and temperature correspond to this value, that is the wet bulb temperature of this one. So we can say wet bulb temperature is increased. Okay, so now next, and specific enthalpy also increase, we can say correspond to your this is the enthalpy lines again. So here we can say wet bulb temperature also increases and specific enthalpy also increases. So option A will be the correct answer. So let us check all the options here. The wet bulb temperature and specific enthalpy decrease, so it doesn't decrease. The wet bulb temperature increases but the specific enthalpy decreases. Okay, so we can't say like that, because here your WT is increasing as well as your specific enthalpy is also increasing. So C option will be also the wrong. And then WBT decreases and specific enthalpy increases, so this option will be also wrong. So here we can say A option will be the correct one. So let us read the question number 5. So for air with a relative humidity that is given 80%, so let me draw the diagram over here again. So if we'll draw that, then I'll be getting a diagram like this, and let this line is representing the relative humidity for 80%. Okay, so I'm picking up a point over here. So let this is point, and we need to calculate your DBT, DPT and WBT over here. So here it is telling that dry bulb temperature is less than the wet bulb temperature. Okay, so let us find all those points over here. So this point will be showing the DBT, that is dry bulb temperature, and this inclined line will be showing the, okay, so this temperature will be correspond to your what, that will be your WBT, and that is the wet bulb temperature. And the horizontal line, wherever it will be coincide with the saturated line, so that point will be showing it the dew point temperature. Okay, so let us check the options over here. So here first option telling that dry bulb temperature is less than the wet bulb temperature. So dry bulb temperature is not less than the wet bulb temperature. Option A will be the correct, that is wrong one. Then dew point temperature is less than the wet bulb temperature. Okay, so dew point temperature is this one. Okay, so let me use another ink. Okay, so dew point temperature is this one, and wet bulb temperature is this one. So we can say dew point temperature is less than the wet bulb temperature, so this option may be correct. Then let us check third options also. So the dew point and wet bulb temperature are equal. Dew point and wet bulb are not equal, so C is not correct. D, and that the dry bulb and dew point temperature are equal, again this is not correct. So option B will be the correct answer over here. With this we have reached the end of lecture for today. So if you like these videos, then press on the like button given below, and press on the subscribe button if you have not subscribed our channel till now, and press on the bell icon so that you will be getting notifications from our channel whenever we'll be uploading any new video. Okay, so this channel is dedicated to all the mechanical engineers who are preparing for any government jobs or any types of competitive exams. So we'll be uploading a new video on new topic every day. So try to get the notifications by pressing the bell icon. So thank you for watching.